Yeah, I wanted to actually show the receipts of how much I have made so far in 2024. This isn't like groundbreaking wealth. I'm being honest, which is something that a lot of YouTubers don't know how to do. I really didn't want to work a job. I really hated my job. I really hated the whole 9 to 5 grind. And now I don't have to deal with any of that shit. I won't say it's easy because I definitely had to like grind at a job I hated for a while before I like got here. There's so many of us that are here. We're here mentally and we don't want to partake in the current systems. We don't want to like be part of the problem. And I really do believe we don't have to. I no longer work a 9 to 5 job and I wanted to give you guys an update on what I've been doing. I don't really talk that much about like my personal circumstances on this channel as much unless it's to make like a point about like society and the zeitgeist at large, or like a Gen Z specific block that we have to overcome to become functioning adults in the modern world. But I wanted to share like what I've been doing to become a functioning adult in the modern world. So for those of you who don't know, I still live at home with my parents. And it was something I really struggled with since I moved back in during the pandemic. It was not like a strategic choice. It was literally because my school shut down because of COVID. And I do see that my life was going on a certain trajectory. I was studying communications and I was going to be applying to internships. I was going to like start my life essentially, or at least that would have been the next step. I had this victim story about the pandemic. I was like, the pandemic fucking ruined my life. The pandemic threw me off. I was very, very like upset with myself. Like I was beating myself up. Like I should be doing more. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. But I just wasn't ready to grow up. Like I just wasn't ready to get a job, get an apartment, have bills, have a relationship, like all these things that it seems like you should be doing in your 20s. I just wasn't ready to do that at 19 through 25. Honestly, I wasn't ready for any of that. A lot of people are insecure about living at home with their parents, and I did for a long time too, until I realized that like you can save a fuck ton of money doing it. Even if your parents are charging you rent, it's still way cheaper to live with them than it would be to live somewhere else. And a lot of people do it. They just don't talk about it because it kind of does have a stigma of embarrassment behind it. It's not always a bad thing to do. I work as an executive assistant for the CEO of a fashion company. She's a fashion designer. She has her own brand. She has her own online presence. I also do pet sitting on the side. I'm a star sitter on Rover. And it was actually really easy to get to that point. You just have to actually try. You actually have to be active on the app and update your schedule every day. You do it in your neighborhood. You control your service radius. If someone is inquiring about services and they're beyond your radius, you don't have to take it. It's like one of the most underrated side hustles. Some people don't want to deal with animals, dogs, whatever, but like you just have to have a strong intuition about who you should work with and who you shouldn't work with, because if you go into that house and you get weird vibes, just don't take the gig. It's not that deep. I was doing DoorDash, but I decided to stop doing that because I love myself too much. I have been freelancing, so I have a degree in public relations, and I didn't want to work for a corporation that was going to be manipulating people through ads to buy shit that they don't need or vote for a certain candidate at the ballot. Like I want what I do to be meaningful to me and to align with my values. Because I'm a creative person, I did communications, which I think is a great field to go in if you're a creative person and you want to have a professional career in the modern age, because I'm on Upwork every day and I get job alerts, people who are looking for social media managers, content creators. There's UGC calls. We need somebody to write an article or multiple pieces for this. We need this, we need that. Like there's just so much creative work out there. You don't even have to have a degree. As a person who's Gen Z or young millennial who grew up on the internet, you know how to do all this stuff they need you to do. It's like, this is probably one of the easiest things to do if you're a creator and you know you're willing to do work for other people. I strongly recommend you move into freelancing. I haven't used Fiverr, but I hear that's really good for it as well. There's also freelancer.com and LinkedIn too. I'm pretty sure you have to pay, but people can submit requests to work with you directly on your LinkedIn profile. Freelancing kind of like has its downsides. I'm not going to sit here and make it seem like it's better than a 9 to 5 job, because the 9 to 5 job does come with the consistency. It does come with the reliability. Freelancing can be kind of like, sometimes there's a lot of work, sometimes there's not a lot of work. And until you find like clients, like I have like a pretty good network of clients now. I'm working with people regularly and I know like how much money I can expect. So it's not so much of a struggle as where there was a time where I was applying to multiple jobs every day, flooding the space with my cover letter or whatever. You know, really take some time to figure out what your skill set is, and not just your skill set, like what you can do, but also what you want to do and what like aligns with your value system. Figure out what brands or companies or organizations you're willing to work with or work for. Like who do you want to help? What is the message you want to help propagate in the world? And then figure out what is the work that would then enable you to do that. I think you really got to figure that stuff out. I'm choosing people that I'm willing to do the work for. Like I'm working with someone who is vegan and we have that shared interest. I'm working with someone who is a life coach. He coaches Gen Zs who are failing to launch. So like, find something that is in the thread of your own interests, and it'll be a lot easier to do work for money. Basically, you just want to find stuff that you want to do, and just got to insert yourself into the areas that you want to work in, and try to figure out like how to market your skills, and like how to talk to people about what you can provide for them, and like how you can make their life and their business easier or run more smoothly. Like, you just have to learn how to sell yourself. And when you find people that like consistently need you, or like need you for a long-term project, that's when it really pays off, because you know, you build a relationship with these clients and they will refer to you to help them with different aspects of the projects that they're taking on or that they're involved in. And that's how you build like a referral network too, is that they tell their friends or their colleagues about you. And then like, it's the gift that keeps on giving. If you tap into like the interests that you have and like lead with that and say, look, I'm passionate about X, Y, Z, and I also can like do this, and that's how I want to do it. You will connect with people that are in those fields. I only really want to work with those people because I think those people want to make the world a better place. And so I feel confident that when I work with them, we're going to do something good in the world as opposed to like more evil. So I think that really helped me, because I really didn't want to work a job. I really hated the whole 9-to-5 grind. And now I don't have to deal with any of that shit. I do freelance work for these people that are aligned with me, and I work with animals, and like I don't have to deal with people really. I guess that's just like me talking from like a privileged standpoint. It doesn't have to be hard though, I guess is my point. You don't have to beat yourself up about not wanting a 9-to-5 job or the stress of trying to find something that's aligned with your values, but you also need money to live. There is a way. And I won't say it's easy, because I definitely had to like grind at a job I hated for a while before I like got here, you know, but it's really just about acknowledging where you are versus where you want to be and taking steps towards like bridging that gap. I'm taking advantage of the fact that I live with my parents to do that work. This is like a time where I'm going to look back on my life and be really grateful that I did this, instead of move out immediately, taking on all these responsibilities that will just make it harder for me to ever have the time to do that. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's my life update. I finally got to the point where I've replaced my income from my day job that I was working for the last 3 years, just from all my self-employment pursuits. And I'm really proud of that, because that is everything that I wanted. This time last year, I was just like, how do I get to this point? And now I'm here. And so I say that not to brag, but to tell you guys it's possible. It can happen for you. You just have to decide what you want and align yourself with that trajectory. If you need help doing that, I made a bunch of workbooks that you can check out on my Patreon, and they will be linked in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.